some more Baba Is You, where we made it to stage 13 of the meta world last time. We cleared as far as we did stage 9, 10, 11, and 12, as well as did some solving on the meta overworld, so to speak. It's crazy, this stage seems so daunting looking at it from afar, but when you consider how much of it we've actually taken care of, it's pretty remarkable. Of course, with the way this is all shaped and the way Baba Is You works, just because we've solved some puzzles in all this does not mean it won't be used again, so there could be yet a sprawling overworld puzzle still before us. But you can't help but feel we're making some serious progress here. So we ended last time by discovering that Tango could be made into Baba, but it seemed like it could just as easily be made into Flag if that becomes relevant. But we did all that salvaging. And now we're moving on to 13, the box, which presumably will also transform into something, because otherwise I don't see how you'd get through to this level here. So we're going to first try and solve the level is win thing, the win condition, but then also see what things we can make a level into. Okay, so the box. Rock is defeat, wall is stop, Baba is us, flag is win, level is level. So we do have a level is level here. It kind of doesn't look like we'll be able to change that actually. So maybe I was wrong and this won't be one of them that we'll get to transform into something, in which case, I don't know how you get to this. It might be something to do with this. Because this looks like a flower, right? So it could be the question mark stage gives you access to this somehow. Maybe if you find a way through to this. I don't know. We'll worry about it later. So not many rules baked into it already, but we have a handful of things we could make into rules so far. So currently rock is defeat. If we were to say that rock is push, that we could get this rock is defeat thing broken, we can then not make it not push, but we could say that the level near rock is push, which makes it so it's no longer saying rock is push as such, which lets us get up here. And why did I want that? To get rock as flag, I guess. Or, yeah, probably. How did I see that coming about? I don't know. Well, I suppose if level near rock is push, that means rock isn't push, which means I can get the word rock is out like this. Nope. I was gonna say I could get the... So the way this is shaped, you can get words in here. I got that. I was gonna say you could do rock near flag is win or something like that. Or level near flag is wins, that the entire level would be win, but there would need to be a flag for that. So in essence, regardless, you need an is... Oh, hold on. No, I had to do that to get rid of rock is defeat, I guess. I was wondering if I could have used this is somehow. Okay. So the thing about doing something like rock near flag as win is there would need to be a flag for any of these rocks to work that way. So it does look like we would need an is to turn something into an is. Again, level is push only lets you push if you touch the wall, which doesn't really do us much, aside from be passingly amusing. Well, here's an interesting thought. I don't actually need to... Oh, that doesn't help. I was going to say I don't need to push this rock because it's only defeat. If I could just get the is out of the way by doing something like this. But the problem was that we were missing the is, not that the rock got moved in an unpleasant way or anything like that, so... That doesn't actually solve anything doing it that way. You know what? With the way I did this feels right. Like, this feels like what they're expecting you to do is, but get this out of the way and then do this so we can change this rock is pushed to a conditional about something else and then get the rock word out. That all feels right, because then we're, aside from this situation, we have all the same tools we had at the beginning, but we've solved a problem that the rocks of the rocks being defeat. So the problem we're faced with now is that flag is win, this part is unbreakable. So either we need something to become a flag, which would require an is, or we need something we need to be able to say something near flag is win and have that be true. Either case requires a flag to appear, right? So we need an is. So I feel like this is the thing I've done wrong. Because the way it's shaped, this notch is useless unless you could put a word in there to say, you know, to say something. So I can't get through here until we break that statement, though. But ideally, we would break it moving downwards so we could get that is out, but that would require being on the other side. It would appear. Here's a question. Does it make any difference if I say rock near level is push? Well, they're basically just all push now forever. Okay, yeah, that's not helpful. Well, it still lets me do the same solve because I can do this and then this now. The result is the same, I suppose. To be clear, if I'm doing level as push, I can't. This just in no way. This doesn't like eventually loop back around or anything with the walls in a different position or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Okay, I think I gave up on all this too early. Let's just go back to this. Woohoo! I've solved the first puzzle ostensibly. What does this allow us to do with all this in mind? I can't access any of this. Can't access this. I can push the is further into the corner, which doesn't seem like I'd want to. And as a matter of fact, that is generally seems like it is no longer functional in any way. It doesn't seem like it would be a thing that... I doubt this is just to let you get through here. That seems like a weird way to do it. But I can't consider a way that you could break this from the north end so you still have the is intact, looking at this. Because it seems like you'd have to get through the rock for that, which means it must not be defeat, which means you must have already done this and put the is in this unrecoverable position. So let's say forget about that is. What can I do with all this stuff, getting it all in here? It almost feels like there should be some shenanigan I could pull here to get 2 words on the same spot, so I could do, like... I don't know what. And again, level near rock is pushed does not... It doesn't mean anything in the level that is near a rock, i.e. these walls can be pushed. That's not how that works. It means the level, so long as it is near a rock, which in this case it is always, because there are rocks on it. So the conditions, like the qualities I've got... Keywords, defeat, win, push, are all. So it's really about how you use your ises, it seems. And the only one that seems like you could be able to use it at any point to say object is object, which is going to happen if we want a flag, is this one. Because it's the only one that's sort of, like this one you're never getting out of this corner, this one you're never getting out of this corner, I'm pretty sure. So it should be this one, which theoretically if you were on this side, could be gotten out of here. Or you could put something in here beforehand, before you do all this. As long as it's defeat or push, it seems I can't get through here. That's probably not accurate because it seems like it has to not be, but if I had some way to say rock is level, then I could presumably... I actually can't remember if level intrinsically has physicality. I guess it does. So that wouldn't make it easier for the Baba to get over it. So everything does seem to speak to me doing that first, but then it's just, what the hell is the point of that whole shape if that is meant to just be lost forever? Why would you... What is the point of this if you already have a passage here? It seems like that's wrong, so you're supposed to go through this and then somehow be able to use this is. But how could that be? This one's called the box. The box. We do have like a suspicious amount of space here, it feels like also. Interesting, this one does not feel like it should be such a trip you up kind of one, does it? It feels like it should be quite straightforward. Because like the acrobatics one looked more complicated than this, but wasn't actually, I guess. This almost feels like one where you're supposed to be tricky and cute about it and get rid of the wall somehow, but I can't imagine how. And again, as soon as I push this is here, there's no recovering that or putting anything in here. So it feels like I've already screwed up as soon as I've done that. And again, getting rid of the word like this does not feel right because the same problem occurs. This is now effectively out of the game. And why would it even... Why? Why have this notch there if that's the case? This is so weird. I have no concept of what I should be doing here. Okay, so the reason this is too wide is so that you can get a word in. You can do ba. So you are putting words in. Clearly. At least one, presumably because you're going to say something like rock is flag. It's gotta be this. It just makes it doesn't make a lick of sense that you would want 2 ways in that are like right beside each other, and this one doesn't let you do anything else. The position of this must be either to allow you to get the is out or the rock out. Maybe both, but I doubt it. But how could that possibly be if you can't get through here at first? And I can't put a conditional on when the rock is defeat. And as soon as I break rock is defeat, the is gone forever. It's like, just what the hell is all this about? None of it makes any sense. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. I can't tell if I'm clinging to this whole this solve here that gets the rock out and still gets us through here unduly because it's the only thing that's gotten me in here. Or if that is the right solve and I'm just missing the last few actions. Okay, there's no way. I refuse to believe that the only purpose of this notch is to push that is the other way so you can get through. That's ridiculous. So the existence of this notch up here means you can extract the rock or the is. I imagine the is because the rock... Well, what do you need another rock for? I don't have an and, so I can't say rock and flag is win. I don't appear to have any available is aside from possibly this one, with which I could say rock is flag, flag is win, and then just go on to one of them. Because it's not about... I can't just transform anything to anything. Level is rock, A won't work, and B doesn't help. Rock is level, this doesn't seem to help anything. We need something that is a flag because this is so inextricably here. It's a good thing I stopped last episode where I did, huh? Because this looks like it might be one of those takes the whole episode kind of missions. It's bizarre, though. It doesn't feel like this should be this difficult. Okay, Level is push does nothing, right? Like it literally, unless there are the little squares somewhere. This is just funny. This is not effective in any manner whatsoever, right? So the only thing I'm doing here is rock is push. Surely, right? And if I can't do these, I'm starting with this, and then the is gone forever. So it's like the very first thing I feel like I need to do, because it's the only thing that can be done, seems to ruin the entire level forever, and I don't understand why. But then that seemingly obvious first stroke has a solve that lets you get the word back out, which feels necessary so that you can then get through here. So it's like this has all of the characteristics of a solution, except for the part where we win. Which just still eludes me. And if we got all three of these up here, it's not like we can see the level near rock flag as win. Instead, it does like either or. To do that, it need to be level near rock and flag. No, I guess it doesn't work like this anyway. You can't say level near rock flag is win to make it either of them. They'd have to be on the same spot for that. And I don't appear to have any way to put two pieces of text on the same spot if all I've got is push. The other statements I can make are level near flag is win, which only helps us if there is a flag somewhere, which there currently isn't. Or rock near flag is win, which is the same deal. So we need another is, right? Like this one. But there's no way up there for Baba to put something in here before rock isn't defeat, at which point is unrecoverable. I'm gonna catch 22 here. Like a brain loop. I don't know why I keep having this feeling that I'm supposed to put text on a rock and then say rock is push again, and then that will, in some manner, positively impact something. Obviously, this doesn't help here because I can't push this rock anyway, even if I could, I don't know why I would. I have so few things to try and I'm out of ideas. It's weird, this is such a simple solve here, this whole, like, break the defeat thing and then say the level near rock thing is, add the conditions that it becomes about level and not rock. It's such a simple solve that it feels like this isn't the solve, this is like, and now that you've learned that, now that that's in your brain, use that to solve this. It's like in no way does it bear any similarity to that situation that I can tell. And I have hit the point with this where I'm like, I should probably get this. I don't think this is, I don't think it's trying to trick me that hard. I think I'm just not seeing something that should be clear to me. Okay, so the thing I had said earlier about using text to break this, there's no benefit to that. And there's only a drawback in that I can't get level out either, where I used to just not be able to get is out. So I have to assume that is wrong, but that means the is never used again. If it goes in this corner, it can't be used for anything because it's not like wall is word or anything. Rock is push, level near rock is push, rock near level is push. As far as I can tell, that and the stuff I said about the flag is all I can build right now. So I've screwed it up here. This is wrong. I've not made the mistake that obliterates my career yet, so to speak. Now I have. So before that, don't do that. What else can I do? Run in here and die. Run in here and die. Run in here and die. Lose this word forever. Lose this word forever. And the is, for that matter. Lose the is forever, so that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. 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 I have no idea. So I have to be wrong that breaking the is a problem. But that means we never needed the is. Or it being here is somehow still useful, like we can put something through the wall to get here, or have already had... No, but... So that... No. There's no have already had something here, because I was talking about these are my first options. And if I do this first, there's nothing going in here, unless... that I can see. So that does mean the is forsaken forever, but I just can't conceive of that. It just doesn't... That can't be right. I cannot look at the world in a way that makes this is currently usable. There can't be something on the left of it. There can't be something above it, the way I see it, because the wall is stopped. There's no getting through that. So this is forfeit. I can move it one up further just to get myself a second mode of entry, and I have no idea why I would want that. I can push the rock further into that corner. I have no idea why I'd want that. So this is the point where I begin to think there must be something I don't understand about the way one of these words works, like near. I don't see the same way I could influence the stuff that's outside of these walls. Like Baba's U wall is stop and level's level. I think they're there forever. What the heck could near be for here? Just a random thought, but it occurs to me that maybe clearing this stage will give us one of those white paths to this, and then we're gonna have to do like cursor is go so that we can play as something down here, and then get something else to be cursor so that we can get a Baba to carry a cursor onto the stage and then down to a ghost or something. No, I guess that wouldn't be possible the way this is laid out. Anyway, it's a random thought. I'm having no clever ideas. Or no stupid ideas, just no ideas. Okay, here's a question. I don't even know if it matters. If level is push, if this goes like off screen, like this rock over here, for instance, at the very bottom of the screen that we no longer can see, and I say rock near level is push, does where the level is on screen impact? Does where the level is on screen impact? That's how I want to say that. Does where the level is on screen impact these qualities? So I think it. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think though, because we clearly have access to the border of the screen, right? Like they didn't have to give us access to this. So does being able to push this somehow make it so that certain things are or are not near level, so to speak? I don't see why it would, because they're moving with the level, right? So even if the level is down here, all the rocks that were near level are still. I would think. Likewise, level near rock is push. It should be always near rock because the rocks move with it. So I can't even begin to think of a way that this does anything, but then all of a sudden I'm seeing that we have level as push and that they've given us a wall to push it with. And I'm like, well, that probably is something. Does it mean that there's secretly a flag like off screen down somewhere and I should know that somehow? So if I push the level down a bunch and then say level near flag is we'll win? Just like so? I think that's thinking too outside the box. Mind thinking outside the box would sort of be that would be a very Baba is you-ish sort of joke to make. I mean, it's not like they want me to. The level is not actually physically in this space, right? Like, it's not like if I got the flag to touch a flag up here to touch this level, that would do anything. Wait, it isn't, right? If I turned the Baba, oh, you have to be kidding. There's no way that's a thing. You simply must be joking. If this is what it is, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I guess it would make sense. I just didn't think it. I mean, I didn't think we had any evidence before this point that this was at all a consideration. But if because I guess they expected us to instinctually turn this one into Baba. But if we turn this one into a flag, then this level is near a flag, I guess. If that's what it is, I'm gonna be a little annoyed if I'm honest, because I feel like that's not fair. That's not the way we establish these rules to work. If we establish the rules to work that everything outside of this level doesn't count, I'm pretty sure we all agreed upon that. But now I'm thinking it's gotta be that, because what the heck else could it actually be? Of course. Okay. I mean, like, fine, whatever. I guess I figured it out mostly because of the title of the level. But it's been pretty concretely like everything outside of the level doesn't count, right? Like, as soon as we're outside of a level, the text does not commingle with the stuff that's outside. So I feel like that's a little unfair, but fair enough with that they gave it a title, The Box, and thinking outside thereof, i.e. think outside of this level. I guess really the thing I take issue with is there appear to be clues in other directions, like you have level as push available and walls with which to push it. And additionally, the structure of the level in no way supports the solution, because there is literally no reason for this to exist when you can do this. There is no reason this should be here and in any way give you the sense that this is, because this doesn't help you. You can't, if you tried to then do this, that's not helpful. You can't get stuff through here in a meaningful way. So this corridor has no reason to exist. It shouldn't be. It should be like wall here, really. As far as I can tell, anyway. Maybe it comes into play in some other way later. But so I take partial issue with this counting, but more issue with the level design running me in circles for no reason in other directions. But fair play that it's a funny enough solution, I guess. I guess part of the reason I didn't think it counted was we've had levels before where you could say level is push, and then you could push it to the right, even if on the overworld there was like a wall there, say, which would mean that unequivocally this level cannot be pushed to the right. So we're playing to both sides and being like, well, yes, you can push it to the right because obviously that stuff doesn't count up there, but of course this level is near a flag because obviously that stuff counts up there. So we're being a little rude, if you ask me. But I'm curious, where does this take us? Center. So there is yet another world. So it would appear that's what our 3 achievements are: is clear the world, clear depths, clear metal, and clear center. But hey, it only took me 50 minutes to think of that, so it's not like you wasted a whole hour of my life. But no, that's fine enough. I'm just glad we got through it, really. It would have been pretty unforgivable had they not called the level the box. I think they just about managed acceptable levels of silliness by naming the level the box. Regardless, so we could go to the center, but additionally turning this into baba. I mean, I get what I was saying earlier about how like you can push a level to the right even if there's stuff there. I get that level technically is doing double duty or triple duty really, as little square levels within this screen, as well as meaning anything that it occupies any space that is playable, as well as the level above this one. Like the square that contains this on the map above it. I get that we're technically using it to mean all 3, but I thought doing level is to change this into something else was like a special case of interacting with the world above that would not be repeated, because it doesn't work that way in other respects, right? If I say level is Baba, that level is Baba. So if we were anticipating that words that we put here work up in the above world in a sort of normal way, such that we could say level near flag is win, then once you say level is Baba, you should not be able to say level is anything else, because that's not a level, that's a Baba. So level is flag shouldn't then change a level that had become a Baba into a flag, because we're saying that's not how it works. We're saying level just means, well, that sort of makes sense. I guess it's just because it breaks a rule there, where level works on this thing even if it's a Baba. I assumed we were saying the rules don't work up. Like, just forget the rules. There are no rules. Just level is in here means this thing up here turns into something. I didn't realize it actually meant we cared about the way things were up there. And that's one of the situations. It's something I'm going to get into the endgame review. This game, I think it's at its weakest, which is still very strong when it's at its weakest, is when you're guessing what the rules mean, because it's not obvious. And I think there are some situations, like when I had to do double shift earlier, that are like that, where it's like, well, that's not really a puzzle, I just had to guess what, like, well, the way this is programmed. Because so far, if something is called push twice, it doesn't mean it gets pushed 2 spaces. I've just said the words twice, so I don't know why being called shift twice would make it shift 2 spaces. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And I feel like this falls a bit under that category. Anyway, sorry, I want to turn this back into Baba. I just had some thoughts to get out there. Grand scheme of things, minor complaint, because obviously we're into the end worlds where it's supposed to be super thinky and hard. And it makes a certain sense. It's not that it makes no sense. As I say, it's just about the level of cheeky that I feel I can handle. All right, that's what this rock here is about, is to make it easier to maneuver the Baba down here without wrecking everything else up here. Okay, just experimenting with stuff for a sec here. I was just wondering if I got rid of this and I got rid of this. Could I get the cursor up here? Alright, it's hard to get, like, back out at that point. Kind of, presumably by design. Oh, that's not that bad, actually, because I can get it back in there by doing this. Like this. And I was thinking, if I can get these words here... Don't be doing that. Oh my god, I ruined everything over here. Just thinking if I could get cursor is going across the water here. And then get the word flag in around here, so we could get another flag with the cursor in through all here. Then I could open this, say level is pushed, so we could get these open with the levels, and I'd still have 4 Babas to do this kind of thing. And then I see I wouldn't have a flag to say that say it's cursor anymore. So one of these Babas would have had to be a ghost or something if I were to try and do this sort of thing and still have a cursor. Well, if we back this all up a whole bunch, open this, get this over here, open this, get you over. Okay, I would have had to go up a bit more before that to do this kind of thing. And then we do get 3 moving entities here. So I think it is possible. I'm just gonna sink this Baba because it's gonna be easier that way, I think. It is now possible to do. I guess if we had to go one by one, but essentially, I guess it wouldn't matter at this point. We can do this to get all 3 of us up here. Something like this to do this kind of thing. Oh, hang on. Oh, but the Baba stops being us at this point, so it would have to be another Baba, I guess. Right, you are. So it would seem like we kind of still need one object, because we're going to need to open this. Wait, what? I sunk one of them. I didn't need to, I guess. Not that it matters, really, at this point. But we would need 3 Babas to push this all the way, and then a 4th thing that helped us with some of this and then turned back into a cursor, I guess. Which is what I was thinking the ghost was going to be, but of course it stops being something useful for our plans at this point. And actually, if I were to sink the ghost as the other thing that gets out of the water, then we have 3 Babas, but we can't turn anything into the cursor. These are just musings, obviously. We have the center still to get to, and we can go see whatever this is, and maybe try and work on this at some point, but I was just trying to think ahead a little here. And actually, at this point, we could turn this thing into level, use this to get this open, and say flag as level, and we would have 1 secret level to access, of course. There's a lot still to do anyway. But regardless, that is all for this episode, my friends. Again, like I was saying, I would always find it striking how I can really tell when I hit a puzzle where I'm like, nah, I didn't really care for the solution to that one, kind of like this one. Because I'm like, wow, that was like the first time in 20 hours of this game I felt like that. Kind of like what I was saying with Cuphead. How when there's one odd little hitbox here or there that's funktacular. It stands out, and I had to take a moment and realize the reason it stands out is because the rest of it has been so sublime and perfect. Regardless, thank you so very much for coming around. Next week the channel's gonna be some more Persona 3 Portable. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! If we're not that stressed about time and everything. Just keep it a nice short visit. Of course, Pearl will be tired after that, and then we might risk being sick again, but that'll get us some more courage and stuff. There's something to be said for this strategy. But for the moment, anyway, I think it's time to go head to our club after we're sure that no one else has any funky things to say. I guess the heat doesn't bother you guys, but